Welcome, everyone, to episode 2 of the Looks Like a Movie podcast. My name is Kevin. I'm here with Doug and Owen, and today we're going to be talking about our most anticipated movies of 2023. Please share the episode, like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube. We really appreciate it. Before we jump into our most anticipated movies of the year, we are going to go over the movie poll that we conducted in our Discord. To sum it up, it is pretty much our version of the Sight and Sound list, which was just released last month. We conducted a poll in our Discord and asked members to submit 10 movies that they would put on the Sight and Sound list. And then we put them all together and made a list. This is our Discord's thoughts on what the greatest movies ever are. And we're going to discuss some of the picks that stand out to us. Let's get started with that. Who wants to go first?
Yeah, I think that there's one obvious one that we're all going to talk about that is very that sticks out very early on, and that is well, first off, we should say number one movie is 2001: A Space Odyssey, directed by Stanley Kubrick. It kind of won by a landslide, which is fine. Number two movie is Mulholland Drive, and then it's Come and See, and then it's Stalker, the Tarkovsky film. Then it's 12 Angry Men, and then it's The Godfather, two pinnacle AFI greatest American movies ever. And then number seven is is Damien Chazelle's Whiplash, starring Miles Teller.
Yeah, I figured this is where we were going to start. I knew this is the one that everybody wants to talk about the most.
Oh.
I don't know if I should say I'm the biggest Whiplash fan in here, but it is like in my top 20 movies ever. So I guess I'm
out
the
of the
biggest
three of us, you are definitely the biggest Whiplash fan.
Yeah, and as a huge Whiplash fan, I would prefer if this movie. I mean, I'm not like upset it's on the list, but like outside of the top 50 at least would be like a pretty good placement, I think, if people were going to vote for it.
Yeah, I want to reiterate that it's right behind The Godfather.
Yeah, and right in front of Taxi Driver, which I know isn't like the best comparison, but it's still like, I don't know.
It's just
like,
silly.
Like the movies that it's sandwiched between are pretty wild.
Yeah. So yeah, Whiplash, which we like Whiplash. It's Miles Teller drummer movie, right? The movie's good. We're all Damien Chazelle fans in here, I think. At least because of Babylon, at the very least.
Yeah, I don't know. Are you a La La Land fan?
I tried to watch it like last week, and I fell asleep like 10 minutes.
Okay,
that's valid.
So
I watched La La Land this morning, and actually, which is funny that we're talking about it. I watched La La Land this morning, and I liked it a lot. I love that movie, but I was really thinking, like, man, this is just a worse Babylon.
Yeah, and La La Land's also on the list at number 39. So Damien Chazelle is very heavily represented for like a new.
Which also, La La Land is at number 39. It is wedged between There Will Be Blood and Blue Velvet.
There's a lot of like, I don't know. We could look for some of the most interesting like movies that are between two movies. But there's a lot of them that are like they stand out because of the movies that they're surrounded by. The movie I want to talk about is Do the Right Thing, because that's my favorite placement on the list. I'm happy that, like, I don't know. I mean, we showed Do the Right Thing.
Yeah, we should talk Do the Right Thing. You have two spots and you have Everything Everywhere all at once.
Yeah, exactly.
16, which kind of sums up the entire list, because we all kind of saw this coming, but this is a very boring list, and there's a lot of like newer movies that are quote unquote good that
recency bias
in here. Yeah, recency bias is really strong.
Yeah, is rampant on this list.
And there's like movies that I'm just like, and it's not even like there's movies that I genuinely like really like, and I'm just like, this is the last movie that I would expect to be on like a top 100 of all time list. Like I think Climax rocks, but the last thing I would expect is to see Climax on a list of like the 100 greatest movies ever. Like that's just so like it was just so surprising to me.
Yeah. It's a silly movie to be. Yeah, Climax at number 77 is very silly.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's not like it's too high on the list or anything. I'm just like, I just don't think it's a movie I would expect to be on the list at all.
No, I think Do the Right Thing is at number 14. It's right above La Haine, sorry. And I think that's really cool that it's on there. So I think this is kind of like something that I think is interesting. It's a little bit of a coinky dink, is that at number 11 and 12 are Parasite and Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Same year.
They were both like the critical darlings of 2019. It's I don't know. I think it's very interesting that just happened to happen.
Yeah. And when you think about like just like recency bias in general, it's like I'm just looking at like the top 20 alone. Like you mentioned Parasite and Portrait of a Lady on Fire, and then we already talked about Whiplash, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and then like Moonlight. And it's like if one of those movies was in the top 20, then you'd be like, oh, not much recency bias at all. But the fact that like 5 movies from not even the past 10 years are like already in, unless I'm missing something, but yeah, 5 movies in like the top 20 from just the past, like, what is that, 8 years, I guess.
Yeah.
Like that's insane. I think that's a lot
Yeah.
of new movies. And granted, like obviously a lot of the people that were polled are like very young. So they're gonna show like favoritism for
It
those
definitely
movies.
shows
But
here.
yeah. And there's like fun picks. Like there's like picks that I think are like genuinely like show some kind of like personality. Like obviously most of these picks are like movies that you might expect, but like I know I haven't seen it, but I know that most people are in agreement that they were all like pretty happy that Hard Boiled got on the list.
Yeah, Hard Boiled, which is where is that? It's at number
58.
58. That's
58.
58.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
interesting. Um, and there's other like just interesting movies that would end up on a list like this. Like at number 92, Jonas Mikas' As I Was Moving Ahead Occasionally, I saw brief glimpses of beauty, which is kind of like this avant-garde documentary autobiography kind of thing. That's just for that to make a list like this is really fascinating.
Yeah. I
Uh,
mean, do you guys have like a favorite movie on the list? Because for me at least, like when it came to my vote, I think I could be wrong, but I think 5 out of the 10 movies I voted for made the list. So like I have a lot of representation with my favorite movies on the list.
yeah, I mean, Possession being at number 9 is that I feel seen with that.
Yeah.
The Zalowski film in the top 10, which is um by far and away the most obscure movie in the top 30.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, okay, yeah. I don't know. Is Possession more obscure than in terms of just like how many people have seen it, like A Brighter Summer Day? Like I think way more people have probably seen Possession.
no, well, we can, okay, so Possession has
Look at Letterboxd.
150K members,
Yeah,
and A
and Brighter
Brighter
Summer Day
Summer
only
Day.
has 50K.
Oh, really?
So yeah, big
There you
difference.
go. There's the
Um,
numbers.
My bad.
yeah, I mean, granted that's only Letterbox, but I just think in like general, it's probably I'd say Possession's probably more popular
Damn,
than
I
that.
thought Edward Yang was popping a little bit more because Yi is also kind of underseen. Um,
Yeah. I mean, I have 2 movies in my top 5 on the list as well. Like Memories of Murder and Do the Right Thing are both like 5 favorite movies ever for me, and they're both in the top like 40. So I'm
yeah,
pretty
this
happy.
list is fucking bizarre.
It's a list.
Also, another thing that's just like interesting that happened as a coincidence is that Rear Window and Vertigo are right next to each other. Rear Window is at 66 and then Vertigo is at 67. Both Alfred Hitchcock movies that came out within like 4 years of each other, like
Yeah.
right next to each other on the list. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think that kind of area of the list is really interesting. The bottom half, especially like I think you got something at like Metropolis at 78,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then 8, and then sandwiched with that is Lawrence of Arabia and 8.5. And you talk about
Yeah.
how many of the films at the beginning are films that come out recently, recency bias. I think the films that just kind of squeaked in there are some like really like important legendary films that maybe have not been seen by most people in Discord because
yeah.
they're
You want to
Yeah.
talk about obscure, bro? Fucking On the Silver Globe, which is Zalowski's kind of like
Yeah.
Mhm.
Lost film. I think it was Lost for a second. From like 1988 is at 87. Like that's crazy that that made the
Yeah.
list somehow.
Yeah. Owen, is Blowout your favorite movie on the list?
Possibly. Yeah, I'm happy that it made it there. I would, obviously you hope for higher, but I think that's the only Brian De Palma film on the list, I think.
Yeah, I
Right.
think so as well.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm happy that if any De Palma would make the list, I'm happy that Blowout made the list. But you'd hope for. I think House is being on the list as well. I really like Metropolis. Yeah, I'm happy with what's on the list. I just you'd hope for more kind of style and personality, I guess you could say, on the list. It
Yeah.
feels very like weird and confused.
Yeah,
But
I mean, on
it's-
my end at least, like I'm kind of happy with the personality that like squeaks through on the list because of the fact that like we know this is a collective of like random film lovers
Yeah.
on the internet. You know what I mean? It's it's not like we're polling like experts or film directors or anything like that. It's like these are just people who like movies on the internet. And for that reason, I'm like, I feel like this list has maybe more personality than I would have expected, because I thought it would be like even more basic than this. So I don't know. I'm pretty happy in terms of like what's actually on it. Doug, did you have something to say, or does anybody?
No, I think the list is interesting to kind of look at, because like, yeah, there's just like, there is like a little bit of personality in it. Like there's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you know, Funeral Parade of Roses, Daisies, like Before Sunrise, Mommy, by the Xavier Dolan film, and like stuff like that is like, oh wow, this is like kind of like more like underseen, interesting, kind of arty movies that maybe aren't like as publicly understood, or like in the like the general zeitgeist of the world. So it's a little
Yeah. All right. Let's move on from talking about that. We're going to get into our 2023 movies. If you are interested in something like that Discord list, or you want to participate in like more events, you could find us on our socials, and you can find the Discord on there. We're going to be doing our votes for our 2022 movie awards soon. So if that sounds appealing to you, then yeah, join the Discord and you can come talk to us and talk about movies and participate and stuff like that. But yeah, we have a long list of anticipated movies to get through. We're going to see how many we can get through. But let's get started. We're gonna I organized the way that we're going to be talking about this list, and I figured that we should just get like these two movies out of the way first, because they are like the big meme. They are like, when people talk about 2023 movies, they're like, we have to talk about these. So we're going to start talking about Barbie and Oppenheimer, because like, what else? So let's go into Barbie first, I guess. I mean, really, we could do this in either order, but yeah, they come out on the same day. That's why they're being talked about together so much. How excited are you guys for Barbie?
So I was super excited for Barbie because I think Greta Gerwig's last two films, Lady Bird and Little Women, are like really exceptional pieces of just art and filmmaking. But so I was excited for like her, her next movie, just based off of that, because I like her previous work. And then the Barbie trailer came out, and maybe I know that I'm in the minority when I say this. The Barbie trailer made me less excited for the movie than I was previously, because the trailer just kind of looked like a movie that I did not want to see. It looked very like parody, like extremely parody, and I don't know what I was expecting, but it was just like, I don't know.
This could be a weird comparison, because I remember watching this movie when I was, I don't even know, like a child, but the trailer gave me a lot of like Hairspray vibes. Obviously it's like designed to like emulate 2001: A Space Odyssey, but just in terms of like when you look past that like shtick and like actually look at like what scenes they're showing in the trailer, I'm like, yeah, this kind of looks like a Hairspray type thing. The only reason why I'm like, I have faith is because it's Greta Gerwig, and like, so far for me, like, I mean, obviously it's only two movies, but like, not even just undefeated for me, but like Lady Bird is literally one of my favorite movies ever. So like, I want to hold out hope that it's going to be good. But it seems like, yeah, I don't know. Like you say, you're in the minority, but it seems like a lot of people saw that trailer and like they're already complaining about the movie, at least on like my side of the internet.
Yeah, I think the movie's gonna probably be good, and we're talking about Greta Gerwig's direction, written by Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach. Like, it's gonna be good, you know. But it's just like, it's not the kind of movie that I was expecting, that I thought it was going to be, or maybe it's not the kind of movie that I think I wanted it to be. I think is the better way to put it. But it's also, Margot Robbie, friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod, Margot Robbie.
She's starring as a titular Barbie, so so that's like something to be excited about. And also Ryan Gosling is
well, I was
another friend of the pod.
Yeah, exactly. We gotta stop throwing that term around.
Yeah, we have many friends.
We're very well.
Wait, are you saying you were not friends of Margot Robbie? Isn't friends of the pod? Is that what you want to say?
If she's listening, then
are you implying that Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling are not friends of the pod?
No. I would never say that. I mean, Ryan Gosling is a dear friend to me.
He's a dear friend.
Ryan Gosling is one of my favorite. Like, I see, the thing is like, I was way more excited for Ryan Gosling to be in this movie because I'm obsessed with Ryan Gosling. But now that we're like coming off like the Babylon hype, I'm like, maybe I am more excited for Margot Robbie because like I don't not to like discredit her as an actress at all, but like she's not like one of the few actors where I'm like super excited to see literally anything that they're in. Like Ryan Gosling to me is like one of those people. But now that like the whole Babylon thing happened, I'm like, okay, maybe I just want to see Margot Robbie in something else like immediately now.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely excited for Barbie. I think the trailer left me kind of a little confused, not necessarily a bad thing or a good thing. It is just kind of I'm waiting for more. But out of the two movies coming out that day, this is the one I'm more excited for sure.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah, I think I have to agree just because it's a Greta Gerwig movie, and I don't. It's also it's hard to be like, oh, like I am not excited for Christopher Nolan's next movie
yeah.
when he's coming off of Tenet, which is maybe his most different
Interesting.
and interesting projects yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like he's coming into his own, but it's like, it's like that movie Oppenheimer. It's like it's starring every white boy of the week is in that movie. It's like
Yeah.
Cillian Murphy is doing his thing.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's
Here's where I'm gonna rebuttal. I'm okay. Not that I'm not excited for Barbie, but somebody has to go against the crowd. So I'm gonna be the one that says I'm more excited for Oppenheimer. And my only logic for this, and people could rip me apart for this, like whatever. I like you say every like white boy of the week, but Cillian Murphy, like that's my white boy. Like that's like if I had to pick out of all the white boys, I'm like it's Cillian Murphy. Like
it's not Josh Dunn.
I'm who?
Josh Dunn.
Who's Josh?
Isn't no, that's the guy from
Josh
Pilot.
Peck from
Josh Peck
from Chicken Josh.
Josh Peck is who I was thinking of.
Yeah, I mean Kenneth Branagh's in it, so I'm not excited for that.
Oh,
we don't need to have a conversation about that right now. But yeah, I'm just like I don't know. I love Peaky Blinders. I love Cillian Murphy. Like I'm happy that I don't know, because like he's my favorite part when he's just like a supporting character in any movie, and I'm like now this is like his I don't want to say it's his big like thing because obviously he's like world famous at this point, but like in terms of like a leading role at least, like other outside of Peaky Blinders, like this is his first like big like leading role in a movie.
Yeah.
It's his biggest leading role.
I'm gonna run through the confirmed cast of Oppenheimer real quick. We got
spin the blog.
Cillian Murphy, Emily Blunt, Florence Pugh, Matt Damon, Kenneth Branagh, Josh Hartnett, Benny Safdie, Gary Oldman, Robert Downey Jr., Remy Malek, Alex Wolff, Casey Affleck. Like, what are we talking about?
Did you mention Dane DeHaan? I don't know if he's confirmed, but he is on Letterboxd at least.
Shout out Dane.
Dane DeHaan. Yeah,
friend of the pod.
I'm excited to see Benny Safdie in it. Like, I want to see Benny Safdie in a non-Safdie movie.
No. We are not the same. Get Benny Safdie out of these stupid fucking projects. When I saw Benny Safdie in that Star Wars show, I was so pissed off. Get him behind the camera. Get him making more movies.
Yeah, but it's not like he's like. I don't think being in these movies is taking that much away from his directing because it's not like he's like starring in these movies. Like he's always playing pretty small roles.
Let Benny have fun, right?
Yeah, like let him have fun when he's not directing. Like
let him have fun working with his brother making new movies for me.
It's not like he's a bad actor. Like, he's a good actor.
He's a good actor, but guess what? He's a better director.
Yeah, sure, but like he could do both. Like let him do both. Yeah. It's not like he's like starring in movies and it's taking up like years of his time. Like he'll be fine. They're gonna make a new movie and we'll all love it. Like it's fine.
My bad.
Okay, let's move on to what is my most anticipated movie of the year. I don't know where you guys stand on what your most anticipated is, but Dune Part 2 is my number one. Like Dune for the year that it came out, what was that, 2021? Like that was one of my top 2 movies of the year. It's one of my only 2 5-star ratings that I gave out that year. I love Dune. So I'm very excited to see Dune Part 2.
Dune 1 was a moment for me. I single-handedly made my whole friend group excited for that movie because I would not shut the fuck up about it. Like I remember when the memes for the first Dune started happening, started when they were like, oh, X random person has joined the cast of Dune or whatever. I was like freaking the fuck out because I was like, Denis Villeneuve Dune movie with an all-star cast is going to be the greatest movie ever made. And it wasn't too far off. That movie's really good. Yeah. So Dune Part Two is obviously there's gonna be a moment. Um,
Yeah. I mean, it's just like I'm also the place that I'm coming from at least is like, and I just watched one of his movies the other day. I watched Maelstrom the other day. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. But like Denis might be my favorite director. Like I don't really want to put a label on it because I'm not like entirely sure, but like he's certainly in the conversation for me at least. And yeah, like Dune might, I don't know if it's a crazy thing to say, but yeah, Dune's probably my favorite movie by him, I guess. So yeah, like I can only imagine that part two is gonna stack up for me because I don't see how much different it could be. Like it's really just like as long as they stick to what the first one did good.
Stick to what they were doing.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's no way this is gonna be a bad movie. And
yeah,
there's
I
just
don't
like
know how
new
much
cast
you know about
additions.
Dune, but this second part of the story that he has to adapt now is going to be much more, in the book at least, it is much more surreal. It is much more like druggy, like trippy, kind of like not grounded in reality kind of storytelling. And that is not something that Denny has ever really played with
Yeah.
outside of Enemy, but even Enemy was pretty grounded. Um,
Yeah.
so it's like I am curious to see how he handles this challenge.
Yeah. How do we feel about Austin Butler? Because like obviously like Florence Pugh is an addition, but it's like, like everybody likes Florence Pugh pretty much, I think.
I have an Austin Butler poster somewhere. I don't know where it is though.
Just like him.
Maybe
No,
now's
it's
the time to look
Elvis.
for your Austin Butler.
Just not Lil Butler.
No, it's an Elvis poster.
I think it's great. I love the casting.
Yeah.
There was a lot of names circling around that I would have been happy with, and I think this kind of came at a great time for Austin Butler. He is really rising on the rankings here with the
There
start
was
of.
that rumor that Robert Pattinson was going to get the Austin Butler role. It's a good thing he didn't because he is probably a little too old to be Timothée Chalamet's equal. But
I also feel like he's too big of a star almost for that role. Like,
I don't know if there's too big of a star for like.
No, but I don't know. I feel like he's like kind of this like really big thing right now, and I feel like I would like to see him kind of do bigger things. I don't know, bigger than
also
Dune,
like I think from our perspective,
I like Austin Butler's like a really fun pick there.
Yeah. I was gonna say like from our perspective, I feel like we like we're all big Robert Pattinson fans here, at least, if I'm not mistaken. Like we want to see like Robert Pattinson in literally everything, but at the same time, it's like we don't need to put him in everything. like we're gonna like all the Robert Pattinson movies that we like. But we're gonna be excited to see like every Robert Pattinson movie coming out. Like that doesn't mean we have to put him in every big blockbuster, because like if it was up to us, like we would love to see him in like literally everything. But I don't know. I think Austin Butler is like a fine person to fill that role.
Yeah, Austin Butler's a great actor. Florence Pugh is a great actress. I'm a really
and Christopher Walken is
I forgot about that casting.
Well.
That casting might be the best one.
Well, okay. This is a little bit of a book nerd, like Dune annoying kind of point, but it's like really, it's like actually, it's kind of bad casting when you think about like book accuracy, because in the book, the spice is supposed to like slow down your aging, so the emperor is actually supposed to look like he's in his mid-30s, and Christopher Walken looks like he's 90 years old. But no, it's
what if
they
I
wasn't even aware of that, like from the book.
If they de-age Christopher Walken, a man that de-age Christopher Walken, a man that everyone knows is old now, and you make him look young, I feel like that if they go down that path is actually really interesting, with the whole like showing his de-agement, or he's being young in an old man's body kind of thing.
Yeah, de-aging Christopher Walken
is a power move there.
That's interesting.
I'm curious if we're gonna hear about that. Like,
and then they don't do it.
No, I mean they probably won't. But
they probably won't. But I think that would be interesting.
I just like it. I mean, obviously, like I didn't know that book stuff, so I guess that
Kevin doesn't read.
In terms of accuracy, that's disappointing. But just in terms of like casting alone, I'm like, I like Christopher Walken. Like that's a fun pick. But anyway, let's move on to Killers of the Flower Moon. How excited are we for this?
I'm excited for it. The production of the movie confuses me a little bit, because there was like that report like halfway through the movie that Jesse Plemons is actually the lead like protagonist main character, and then like there was like more reports that like, oh no, it's actually like still Leonardo DiCaprio, so like the top billed like main character, and it's like I don't understand.
I would prefer it to be Jesse Plemons. I don't know if that's a crazy thing to say.
I would as well.
But, like, but I love Jesse Plemons.
I'm kind of snoozed out on this whole Martin Leo thing. I really couldn't be. I'll see it just because of what it is in theaters, but I am not, like, the excitement level on this movie is not there for me.
Yeah. Do you guys know what the movie's about, other than that it's like
no
a Western?
clue.
I know that the title sounds pretty cool.
Not a clue.
It's
based on a book, right?
Yeah, it's based on a book, and Jesse Plemons' character, he's like an FBI agent. He's like a morally ambiguous FBI agent that like figures out like something that's bad that's happening on like the Native American reservation.
I mean, the Letterboxd summary sound like I just quickly glanced at the Letterboxd summary, and now I'm like, I didn't even know any of this going into this podcast. I'm like, this sounds exciting now. I'm like, I read the summary and I'm like, oh shit, this sounds cool. It gives me like, I mean, obviously only because of oil. I'm like, now I'm thinking like there will be blood, but also just like I want to like like this just like, I don't know, like the whole crime aspect of it. I'm like, okay, this could be interesting. Yeah, I don't know. And I'm also not of like the I don't want to say I'm not like tired of the whole Leo and like Martin pairing, but at the same time, it's like you're talking about like maybe the most iconic actor director pairing in history. It's like, it's a bit different than just like
spice it up a little.
It's not even it's not even the most iconic actor pairing director for Martin Scorsese. So don't like. But
you do have De Niro in the movie.
Right. I forgot about De Niro.
Robert
You're
De
right.
Niro.
He is in the movie.
Okay.
Also, Brendan Fraser may be in a good movie for once.
This is true. Yeah.
Brendan Fraser's first good movie in a while.
what I'll say about it is like, I hope that it's a good movie, but it's not like towards the top of my list.
Yeah, no, I'm assuming it'll be great movie, good movie, whatever, top 10, 20 of the year. I don't really care.
Yeah. I could go
at this moment. I mean, a trailer might sell me. This dumb little poster.
Yeah,
I don't care.
I'm curious on the vibe, because I think like I mean, Scorsese has like I think at least like has a pretty, because this is like, I mean, obviously I'm only going off a Letterboxd summary, but like if it is like a crime movie, I feel like he has a pretty like distinct vibe when he does crime.
You don't say.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. But it's like, I don't know. Maybe this will be different. But like, if it's just the same, then I'm like, I don't know how much more I would like this than the other ones. But
do you guys?
But yeah, I think a trailer.
Do you guys like The Irishman?
I don't know. Like I think The Irishman's a good movie. But like it's not. That's the thing with his movies in general for me, is like a lot of them are really good movies. None of them are like personal favorites of mine. And that's like where my beef is, where it's like, this is somebody who is like one of the greatest directors ever. And I have never like connected with a single movie of his enough for it to be like one of my personal favorites. Like I've enjoyed most of the ones I've watched, but I want to like love one. Like I want to like be obsessed with one. And yeah, like The Irishman was just like, I don't know. I watched it in my college dorm room, and I started it at like 2 a.m. and forgot that it was like 3.5 hours long, and I did not finish it in one sitting. So
yeah. No, for me, if this was a movie that wasn't coming out 2022, if this was just a movie on Letterboxd, I was like, oh, that looks interesting. I wouldn't click it because it doesn't look interesting to me. It's not a movie that I would be like, oh, I want to watch this. I'm going to go out of my way and watch it. But it coming out, I will check it out just because it's in theaters.
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah, I just think it's something that I'd be like, or like I've only seen a couple Martin movies. I like some of them I'm like, whatever. But it's not a movie I would actively search out now if it was just available for me.
Yeah. Before we go on to the next one, are you an Irishman fan, Doug?
Yeah, I love that movie.
It's his favorite movie.
It's not my favorite movie. I'm a big fan of Martin Scorsese. I'm probably the biggest Martin Scorsese fan out of the three of us by a good margin.
By far. That's your kind of thing.
Yeah. I wouldn't say like that.
Speaking of directors that we're big fans of, let's move on to Asteroid City, a new Wes Anderson movie. I'm excited for any Wes Anderson movie that comes out. This is like one of those situations where it's like, unlike Scorsese, I'm like, this is a director who makes movies that end up on my list of personal favorites.
Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck this movie's about.
Yeah, that's the only thing. We can't really talk in too much detail about it because we don't know anything. But it's Wes Anderson, so I guess we're just going off that.
Ridiculous. Oh, is this
Yeah.
where I this is where I confess and I
Oh,
talk
don't
about
do it.
how Scarlett Johansson is one of my favorite actresses of all time.
Okay.
I mean,
uh, but
Yeah, I don't know. There's Scarlett
just like
Johansson,
because like
Maya Hawke.
yeah, Maya Hawke, yeah.
yeah, it'd be interesting how big her role is.
Yeah,
Because she hasn't had
that's what I'm
like
curious to say because I'm
Well,
like,
because it's like it's
uh,
supposedly the lead is going to be played by Margot Robbie in whatever this movie is.
yeah,
Margot Robbie is going to
Robbie
be
in
on
a Wes Anderson
a
movie
little
is-
run here. I like that a lot. That's probably like, I don't know. The cast kind of seems a little safe. It is like the kind of like it almost feels very like
Is
typical
it
Wes
safe? I
Anderson.
feel like it's deep.
It's well, yeah, but it's one of those
It's
things.
deep, but it's not like
This is a big
very
modern,
interesting for Wes Anderson.
yeah, but this is
Yeah,
like a
okay.
big modern Wes Anderson. It's not a problem. It's actually very lucky for him. It's a big modern Wes Anderson thing where it's like everybody in Hollywood likes him, right?
Yeah.
So and he has a lot of friends, and his friends are eager to be in his movies,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So he does not have to flex very hard to get like like the most famous man ever to play like 17th lead in his movie
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
The casting I'll point out that I like am interested to see because he's pretty at least on Letterboxd he's pretty high on the cast list above like some some major names is Liev Schreiber. Like I wonder what role he's gonna play.
I like him.
Because he's like
Sabretooth
he's like an
from
actor that I
X-Men.
really like. I feel like
what he was in the French Dispatch. Who was he in that? He was
I'm like look because I was looking at his movies and I was like I do not remember him being in the French Dispatch.
Yeah, he
Oh,
probably showed up in the
TV
movie.
host. Okay.
Yeah.
so, like,
Oh,
my-
yeah. He's interviewing who's also in this movie, Jeffrey Wright, in that kind of last section.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I like Wes Anderson a lot. It's just really tough for me to really get that invested or care right now because it's just a title and a poster and some names
Yeah,
attached to
that's
it.
my thing. It's like
It's
because
like-
people are talking about Asteroid City being like their most anticipated movie, and it's
Yeah,
like sure,
there's
in
nothing
concept,
for me really to kind of grasp at here. Give me a trailer, give me a couple like stills of the movie, and then yeah, I'll be excited. I'm sure I'll love this. It's just there's really nothing here that is really like screaming at me to be like, this is gonna be one of my favorites of the year.
Yeah, I mean, all I'm gonna say is like, from my perspective, I'm like, I mean, obviously this is like just like in Wes Anderson's defense, but I'm like, I don't really need like, I don't need anything to like grab onto to be excited for a Wes Anderson movie because it's mostly like I know I'm gonna like the cast, right? Because like Wes Anderson cast is always gonna be like loaded with talented actors. I know I'm gonna like the style because I love Wes Anderson's style. Like I already know what I'm signing up for. And as far as I know, like from the Wes Anderson movies that I've seen, I think he always like picks an interesting story to tell. Like I feel like he always has an interesting story to tell. So there's just like a real like I could just be anticipated enough off the idea that like there's a Wes Anderson movie coming out. Like I don't need anything else to like to get me excited for it. I'm like, there's a Wes Anderson movie, I'm gonna watch it. And like it's probably gonna be a movie that I like, hopefully.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will be.
I'm sure it'll be good.
Yeah. Let's
I
go
just
on
can't say
to
much more than that. Really.
Beau is Afraid.
So Disappointment Boulevard was
silly
my
title. Silly title.
Yeah.
it was what this was actually like one of my most anticipated movies for
And they
a
changed
long
its
time.
name.
And then the poster came out, and I was like, "This is an ugly ass poster."
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the poster either. And I don't know that like see that's the thing where it's like Ari Aster like by name as a director, like how I was just talking about Wes Anderson, like I can't do that yet with him, even though he's made like two of my favorite movies of the past couple of years, and specifically Midsummer was literally my favorite movie of 2019. So like I want to say there's enough hype there,
but the difference with Beau is Afraid is that we've seen like stills, not like film stills, but we've seen like set photos and stuff, you know. So it's like
Joaquin Phoenix in his little like robe.
Yeah, in his little robe. So I have like a little bit of an idea of like what this movie might be. And that was enough to get me really excited for it. That excitement kind of really deflated once the poster came out. I was like, poster is so bad.
Interesting. Okay. The other thing that I'm going to say, because the only thing that Letterboxd offers to us in terms of a description is that the movie was described as a zonky nightmare comedy. Like that alone, which it shouldn't, but like when I think about like the comedy in Midsummer with Will Poulter's character, I'm like, that was like Will Poulter's lines in Midsummer for me in 2019 were like some of the hardest I've laughed at a movie that year. So I'm like, if Ari Aster's really gonna like play into the comedy, like take advantage of like making a comedic movie, then I think it could be like something that I really like, because I feel like he has like a talent for that. Like I feel like he has a good like comedic talent.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so this is a weird kind of spot that I'm in, but I have not seen any Ari Aster feature. But what I have seen is I've seen his short film named
Not strange
Bo,
thing about the Johnsons,
which is, I'm pretty sure, like I've looked at some stuff. I think that this has something to do with that short film.
No, this is my understanding is that this is like confirmed a
completely different.
No, like it's a feature length version of the short
film.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've seen that short, but I haven't seen anything he's done. I'm sure I'll see it just because in theaters. But Ari Aster isn't something that's like totally a director that I'm a big fan of, because I really haven't seen anything he's made. But the short's interesting. Yeah.
You would like, if you were in the mood for it, you would like both of his feature films.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I think you'd like Hereditary like a good deal more, probably.
Really, that one looks like the one
and that seems to be like the consensus. But I'm a huge Midsommar fan.
That one looks bad.
Did you say Hereditary looks bad?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, let's not go into that. Let's move on to the next movie. I don't know how excited you guys are for this movie, but my anticipation for Creed 3 could not be higher. Like,
yeah, Creed 3 looks
163 minutes.
Yeah. Don't care. Make it 200 minutes. I'm still watching.
Yeah.
I saw the little
Michael B. Jordan can't direct.
That might be true. That might be true.
Can't cut his own movie. 163.
Oh wait, what the fuck? Michael B. Jordan is directing this movie?
Indeed, yeah, directorial debut.
Yeah, this is a scary one.
I thought you went into this knowing that already.
No, I didn't realize that. I watched so what movie was it? Was it Avatar? I saw Avatar opening night, and
so curious how these are going to connect.
And there was a little Creed 3 preview.
Okay.
Like featurette that played before it, and I was like, "Oh, this looks fun." It's a little IMAX boxing movie, and that's it.
Yeah,
I didn't realize Michael B. Jordan directed this movie shot on IMAX. Like,
yeah, this movie should not be 163 minutes long. I just looked at that, and I did it on
this movie. Wait, what the fuck?
He writes. I don't know. Did he?
No.
Ryan Coogler.
Okay. Yeah. Because they're still connected. Yeah, Ryan Coogler's still connected to the project. I mean, I'll talk about this because I'm clearly like probably more
go ahead.
excited than the both of you. But like, I am a huge fan of the first two Creed movies. I think they genuinely like surprised me with how good they were, because it's like, I don't know. The thing about the Rocky franchise is like, yeah, the first Rocky is amazing. And like, I happen to really like all of the other Rocky movies, and there's like a big sentimental connection for me there. And then when they were going to like continue the franchise with somebody else, I don't know, like would have been cautious, but that person was Michael B. Jordan. So I was like, okay, now I'm excited. Like now I want to watch this. And yeah, like I was genuinely like surprised to see how good both of the Creed movies were for me. Like I'm really into this, and now you're adding Jonathan Majors to it, and I'm like obsessed with that guy. Like I've talked about that nonstop, how much I love Jonathan Majors, and I'm just like, when you watch the trailer for Creed 3, it's like this is clearly, I mean, I don't know, like obviously it's like a little bit on like the corny side because you're talking about Creed.
Well, it's a sport. We're talking about a sports movie, like
yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm a big like sports movie endorser, and I've like this is you guys don't have to agree with me on this, but this is like just something that I've always said about sports movies. I like they need a corniness. Like sports movies are not like, you know what I mean? Like sports movies are going to follow for the most part. I mean, obviously there's exceptions when it's like something like, I guess like really serious, but like sports movies for the most part are going to follow like certain like things to a T. Like they're going to hit a lot of like the sports movie tropes, like you're expecting a happy ending, all of these kinds of things. Like it's just like stuff that happens, and I'm like, that's why when people were talking about like, you know, Hustle with Adam Sandler this past year being like formulaic, whatever, boring, basic, like I'm like, bro, like this is like it's a sports movie. Like we're not like, I don't
Yeah.
know, at least in my eyes, like I don't look at them quite the same way. So when I look at Creed 3, I'm like, I want it to be a little corny because I'm like, I'm buying into this. Like I'm just here to have fun. And like taking two
Yeah,
actors who I love and like pitting them against each other, like that's fun to me if it's gonna be this fun like boxing movie.
Yeah, I think I think the trailer and the featurette the IMAX featurette I saw before Avatar, it looks good. It looks good. That's what I think I texted you that. I was like, Creed 3 looks good.
Yeah, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Because I figured like you'd be, I don't know. I mean, again, it's not like it should be like that high on either of your lists for like most anticipated. But for me, I'm like, this is probably in like my top 5, to be honest.
I'm
Like,
interested, definitely not my top 5. I'm interested to see it more now because Michael B. Jordan is directing it. I didn't realize
yeah,
that. And
yeah, that's
I
like
think
the other thing.
we can knock out another movie right now if we want to skip a little bit in the list. If we want to talk about the new Insidious movie, I know that neither of you are going to have a lot to say about that, but
Sure.
another situation like Creed 3, Insidious 5 is going to be, or 5 or 6, whatever, is going to be directed by Patrick Wilson, who is also like the lead of that franchise, similar to Michael B. Jordan and Creed. And that's also going to be Patrick Wilson's directorial debut. Uh, and just that alone, like, because I'm a big fan of the Insidious franchise, obviously, but like, and I'm a huge fan of Patrick Wilson, so like that alone makes me go like, this is really interesting because it's like you get to a point where you're with a character, like same thing with Creed and like now this Insidious franchise, you get to the point where like you're with this character for long enough that like you are like inside of their head and you understand them and the world that they're in more than like any other like run and gun like for hire filmmaker, that like the actor is like now become like the expert on how to make these movies a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that's
No,
interesting.
it is an interesting thing, like an interesting concept. And I think I'm gonna like I don't know that I'm gonna commit to this, but I guess I have to do like some sort of Insidious binge before the next movie.
They're fun.
And yeah,
Let's
but
do it
as you
together,
like
Kevin.
you guys know better than anybody how easily I get scared. So like the idea
okay.
of binging like Insidious by myself, which is like easily one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. Not sure how
Wait,
excited I am.
you've seen the original one?
Yeah.
If you want, Kevin, we can watch
And I
them
think I've seen the second
together
one.
on call if it makes you feel more comfortable.
Yeah, we can all do a big call and we can go through them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's like
make-
very nice of you
can, like, we
guys. I
can
don't
have
know
the
that it's
lights
all that
on and-
necessary, but like, because I just like, okay, this is probably
can
not
comfort
an
you after the
accurate
movie.
comparison, but I just what was it? Haunting of Hill House. I just watched the first episode the other day because I finally like people have told me to watch this over and over and over again, and I'm
The
like, okay,
Mike
I'm
Flanagan
finally going to
show.
commit to it. Yeah, and the first episode, I was like, okay, this is like, and the thing is like I posted on my Snapchat. I was like, I'm watching the first episode finally. I know you guys all wanted me to watch it, and everybody swipes up and they're like, oh, like don't worry, like it's not that scary. You don't have to be that nervous. And I'm like, I'm watching the first episode. I'm like, bro, this is fucking terrifying. Like I'm like, there's like 3 jump scares and they ruin my whole night. I was like, I do
Yeah.
not want
Well, that's the thing too. Where like I think, listen, movies don't really scare me actually that much. But it's like I think that Insidious is a pretty scary franchise, specifically that first one. Like there's like 2 jump scares in that first Insidious movie that like actually like make my soul jump out of my body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it the first movie where like that like mirror
Darth
thing
Maul.
is? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That like
That's
easily one of the scariest things I've ever seen in my life.
I would say I honestly, and we can make a whole podcast about this, but like I think that like the Darth Maul behind him, like the demon behind Patrick Wilson in the first movie, I think that is the second most effective jump scare in the history of movies. It's so scary. Like
This isn't the episode for it, but do you want to tell us what the first one is?
oh yeah, it's Mulholland Drive. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. That is genuinely terrifying. That one messes me up.
Yeah.
And it's good.
It's
But
really good.
yeah, I don't know. I'm like semi excited for the new Insidious, I'll say. There's not no interest there.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like
especially because of the director. Like
that's what my thing. It's like I think it's easy to just be like, oh, like another franchise horror, whatever, and like kind of brush it off. But I think the fact that Patrick Wilson is directing the project is just really interesting.
yeah. Yeah, and I could get behind that. Owen, have you seen the other Insidious movies?
Nope.
Okay.
So
we don't need it. We don't need Owen's
yeah.
input on it. But
I
we're talking about franchise movies already. That's like 3 in a row.
Ooh.
So now is a good time to bring up John Wick Chapter 4. I am
Speaking of
super
movies
excited
I have
for this
not
movie.
seen.
I mean,
You need to watch
one you should watch them
Yeah,
because they're
really
awesome.
I don't know,
They're
man.
really good.
This Chad guy, I don't know about him.
Wait, Chad Stileski? You don't know about Chad Stileski?
Yep.
I mean, you would know who he is if you watched the John Wick movies. That's really like
John
his
Wick,
thing, is it
it's
not?
like, John, like as a
only-
filmmaker, it's the only thing he's done. Before John Wick, he was like most famous for being a stuntman.
Yeah.
He was famously.
Maybe he should stick to that. I don't know.
No, you haven't seen the movies, Owen. You don't get it. Because he was Keanu Reeves stuntman in the original 3 Matrix movies.
Yeah, don't you get bored making? That's the only thing you make. I don't know.
Shut the
John
fuck up.
Wick after John Wick.
I am
Maybe
not gonna.
Chad
I'm not
needs
gonna
to-
entertain
John
Owen
Wick
being
movies are good.
different. John
Maybe-
Wick
Wick movies are good. Like, what are
Maybe
you talking
Chad
about?
should step his feet out in another puddle. Maybe get his feet wet a little.
No, what you want John Woo to come back and make like a quiet, sentimental family drama? Like, no,
No,
let
I
John
want
Woo...
Chad to go make another movie with some other guy. I don't.
Well, maybe Chad has plans when John Wick finishes. Okay,
I'd
But we're
like to
not- we're
see.
not
I'd
there
like.
yet.
I like to see Chad's other movies.
I bet you'd like to see John Wick if you just took the time to watch that.
Dude, John Wick is so good. Even like, okay, here's my thing. John Wick has some of, I think John Wick has the best fight choreography in any like American action movies, right? I think that the Gun Fu is really solid. I think the movies are shot pretty well. But the biggest thing to me that I think is actually really interesting is I think that the speculative world building in the John Wick franchise is really fascinating because it's like it takes it super seriously and the world is like very silly because we have like
What's the
like
world?
assassin
in, like-
hotels and like a secret societies and stuff and it takes it all like
Okay.
super seriously. It's like none of it is played for jokes ever and I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Maybe
And the
it's
other thing
old
is, like,
Keanu.
I think-
Maybe it's that.
Yeah, I mean, one, Keanu rocks. Point Break is one of my favorite movies, so I'm gonna defend Keanu with my life. But it's also just like I don't know. This is a kind of like a trivial thing to point out, but like I love like the character like motivation. Like I love the way that they set up like John Wick's trauma in the first movie, and like get you to like actually be like really really care for this guy because it's not just like another action movie. Like obviously like every movie tries to set up characters that like you're supposed to like, but I don't know that too many like blockbustery type like action movies are making characters like John Wick where I'm like I want to root for this guy over and over and over again. Like I need to see this guy win.
No, literally it's so interesting and it's kind of
Wait a
insane.
minute.
What?
Oh god.
David Leitch co-directed the first
Oh my god.
John Wick.
Shut up.
No way.
You will find any reason to hate on these movies without
This
watching
guy
them.
is the worst director in Hollywood.
Yeah,
No,
and
Sean
guess
Levy's the worst
who's
director in
not
Hollywood.
co-directing the 4th movie?
Yeah.
Him. So get over it.
Yeah, but like you look
might
at the
have to
first
get
one,
over
but
that
it's like
little
no,
hurdle. Yeah.
all the other ones are just directed by Chad Stileski, right?
Yeah,
It's-
so the first one's just really bad, and
No,
And the first one's kind of the best one, actually.
no.
oh, don't say that.
Actually,
Don't set me up
disagree.
with that one.
I think that each John Wick movie might be better than the last.
because
Interesting.
Chad is learning how to direct
I think-
movies.
okay.
Well, yeah, I
Like,
think that's part of it, and I think that, and this is actually why I'm really excited for the 4th one, is because like each movie has like raised the stakes. And
wait,
like,
there's gonna be a 5th one too.
yeah,
Of
there's gonna be
course.
5. Yeah,
I agree with I agree.
Five
with
is it.
yeah, 5 is it.
Okay.
We don't need to
Explain
explain
that
the whole John Wick franchise. To everyone now, okay. Well,
Hey,
I
Maybe little
agree.
Jimmy
I
hasn't
agree with the way
watched this
that
movie either.
the stakes get. Owen, zip it. I'm tired of like explaining why John Wick is good to Owen. Like I'm already over this. But the stakes, like I agree. Like yeah, they go up. But I think just like kind of like what I said, where like the character motivation thing, where it's like I think the first one's just the most like emotional. Like it really like pulls you into the world and like sets it up so well. And like yeah, maybe the other ones are better, but I don't really like. For me, I'm like I don't even really want to compare them that much because I really genuinely like enjoy all of them so much. Like they're all similar in score for me, at least I would say, because they're all amazing. And like I'm very excited for the fourth one. We don't need to like go too much more into it, but
John Wick rules. Keanu's second best performance ever. Is very excited.
Yeah. Let's talk about a movie that maybe Owen is more excited for than John Wick. I'm not even sure. But, let's talk about Ferrari, the new Michael Mann
Double
movie.
M's.
What did you say?
Double M's. Ferrari directed by Double M.
Michael Mann.
Yeah, Michael Mann.
Right.
Is this a? I don't know. Maybe is this movie on digital?
It's a Michael Mann movie.
Yeah. So
yeah,
there we go.
No, I obviously it's a Michael Mann movie, so I was like, oh, like new Michael Mann movie, that'll be fun, right? So I was excited about like, oh, like Michael Mann movie directed by starring Adam Driver, sounds cool. And then they released that fucking still of Adam Driver with the glazed back hair standing up against that wall or outside that building or whatever, and I was like, oh hell yeah, brother, this is gonna be the best movie ever.
This might be the best movie of the year.
It's definitely a possibility. And Michael Mann makes cool fucking movies. like he makes really. I'm so interested to see like him make a Ferrari movie. Like, you know what I mean? It's like
this is Michael Mann's first movie in 7-8 years, because his last movie is Black Hat, which
I gotta see.
Underrated masterpiece. Maybe I haven't seen it.
That's what they say, though. That's what they say.
That's what the streets say. Yeah.
also didn't. Owen, you watched Miami Vice like just the other day, right?
Yeah. Which is, I think, a testament to Michael Mann's thing is like that kind of genre isn't really my thing normally, but just there are a lot of like the Michael Mannisms of that movie kind of reeled me in. And
by that kind of genre, you mean like procedural, like cop crime thriller?
Yeah. It's not a movie I'd normally seek out, but I think the digital stuff really allowed me to kind of enter that world and appreciate it a lot. So I think anything Michael Mann does with that kind of area of digital stuff I will find some level of enjoyment for. But I think the Ferrari on its own of just being a movie starring Adam Driver, that is a big like, oh, I'm gonna watch that movie. So you add that with the Michael Mann stuff, I think this is gonna be a really great movie.
Yeah, Ferrari's also interesting because this is like Michael Mann's last chance, because this is a movie that he has been trying to get financed for like forever, right? And the money has just never been there, but now he's finally gonna get to make it. He has like a great cast for it, and he's gonna make this movie. And you know, if this movie flops, like if this movie doesn't make money, then he's probably just like he's gonna be forced out of the industry. He's probably not gonna get the chance to make another movie.
I don't know. I have a lot of optimism for it. That's what I will say.
I think this movie's gonna be so good.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
I'm super
do we know when this comes out?
I don't think we have a confirmed date. We just know that it's going to be this year.
Soft 2023. It could be pushed back to next year, but yeah.
As of right now, we can assume it's coming out.
Very interesting.
Okay, let's move on to a movie that I know at least Owen is very excited for. And I'm also very excited for it.
Very excited.
Knock at the Cabin.
My little February darling here.
Early into the new year.
One of the newest ones we're gonna see. I think M. Night is one of our best working directors of like now, and I think he's been really strong recently, and I've liked a lot of his like modern work as much as people haven't. I think Old is really good, so I'm expecting to kind of love this. But I also think that this is a really fun cast.
That's what I was gonna say. This cast is really interesting.
Yeah, that's what pulls me in the most. As somebody who didn't like Old, that's what pulls me in the most.
Rupert Grint in an M. Night movie. I know he's in M. Night show that I haven't seen, but Rupert Grint in the M. Night movie is a big movie that Rupert Grint hasn't really been in big movies in forever. So you'd love to see that. Dave Bautista, who I kind of talked about.
Dave Bautista in the trailer alone, I was like, this rocks.
So that's what I was going to say. I think like the Knock at the Cabin trailer, like the teaser trailer, I haven't seen the full trailer that was newer, but the teaser trailer, one of the best movie trailers I've seen in a very long time.
Yeah.
The intrigue like that in that trailer is so insane. Like when they're like, we have to do this, and they're like all upset and stuff. I'm like, what the fuck is this movie about? Like,
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'd love to see this do really well critically, because I feel like M. Night for a while has been kind of slammed and shamed, and I feel like I'd love for this to do really well. And even though people would say like this is the best M. Night movie in like 20 years, they can say all that as long as M. Night gets to keep making movies at like this level.
he will. Well, that's the thing. M. Night makes money, right?
Yeah, I know. I just love
Yeah.
for him to kind of have that kind of safety net kind of thing more if with this movie. I think this movie doing well would be really great.
Yeah.
I'd love
Yeah.
to see
Well, he
that.
has that like kind of thing where like his movies are like so like such a like easy sell, I feel
That's what I was
like, where
gonna
it's like
say.
you don't really have to worry about his like credibility as a director, or like if people like think his
Yeah.
movies are good or not. He like, to the average
Simple
like viewer
concept.
who doesn't pay attention to directors, M. Night has a tendency to make movies where like the average person who doesn't know anything about directors is going to see the trailer for Knock at the Cabin, or see even just like the tiniest like teaser, and they're going to be like, I want to go watch that movie. And that like applies to most of his movies.
Yeah, literally like Home Invasion Vacation,
Yeah.
Beach That Makes You Old,
Yeah.
Two People in One Body,
Yeah.
I See Dead People. You know, it's like all of his movies have like the simplest log
I don't think
lines.
they put that on the trailer. I don't
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know, like even like let's just
Yeah.
like when I talk about like Knock at the Cabin specifically, I'm like that, and you already mentioned it, Doug, but like the intrigue is like so there, even for me as like somebody who is not like that
Yeah,
big of an M.
boring,
Night
you know.
supporter.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, because the trailer, I watch it and I'm like, bro, like the anticipation for like how that trailer is gonna end, like the fact that you have this like 90-second trailer that's just like building up to like something very clearly, and then I see how it ends, I'm like, okay, this movie's gonna rock. Like at least like trailer wise, where I'm like,
Yep.
From a trailer I could be optimistic to see this movie, because I'm like, it just has all of the intrigue there.
Yeah, one of the literally one of the best trailers I've seen in forever.
Yeah.
And our friend John, who's in the Discord, he read the
Friend
book.
of the pod.
Yeah,
Okay.
he read the book that there's-
Actual friend of the pod, by the way.
Yeah, friend of the pod. He read
Not
the
just
book
somebody
Our
that
made
made
this
up
movie
friend, John.
is based on, and he said that he totally sees, and he liked the book, and he said that he totally sees what M. Night is gonna twist it in. Like he sees he sees like how M. Night is gonna like take the movie and run with it, and that him saying that makes me even more excited too.
Interesting. I
Yeah.
might look into that book. Let's do one more movie before we take a little break, and that movie is going to be one that I know Doug is probably super excited for. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1.
This is my most anticipated movie of the year. Mission Impossible 7. Listen, what can we say? What can we say that hasn't already been said? Tom Cruise, the greatest movie star to ever live. Christopher McQuarrie, listen, I have issues with his writing, right? But listen, it's magic. Like this is what the movies are all about. You know, it's like especially coming off of and so like okay, need to collect myself. So in this era of Mission Impossible, right, where we have where I will deem as like the McQuarrie era, which we could say are
he did Fallout, correct?
Yeah, he did Fallout. He also did what's it called? Rogue Nation, and he was a writer for Ghost Protocol. So like those last three movies, I think we could say are like the McQuarrie era of Mission Impossible. So good. Especially Rogue Nation and Fallout, which kind of like reached new peaks for the franchise that I don't think a lot of people realized could have been reached, to the point where it's like Mission Impossible Fallout is kind of just like understood now in the culture as like one of the greatest action movies ever made. Like that's not even like a hot take. It's just like the movie.
No, yeah, I'm in
like,
agreement.
Yeah,
and like I'm trying to think. I don't know that I'm gonna like squeeze in a whole Mission Impossible binge before the new one, but for me at least, like I do remember very clearly seeing Fallout in theaters and like super enjoying it. All of the other Mission Impossible movies, I can't say I've seen all of them, but I have seen certain ones. I just don't remember which one's which. Like I'm pretty sure I've seen the first one, and I think I've seen the third one.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm very excited just off of how much I liked Fallout. So maybe I'll just like fly through them before this comes out.
Yeah, I think it's worth it for me, obviously, because
Yeah,
I
of course.
like all of them. But
Uh,
yeah, Dead Reckoning Part One is going to be really, really good. It's especially I watched the featurette where they talked about one of the stunts that he does, where Tom Cruise is like on the motorcycle and he like
yeah,
jumps off the cliff.
yeah,
Incredible, like
yeah.
literally
I mean, when I
injected
saw that
into my
in
veins.
and when I saw that as like a preview, I was like, this looks awesome. And I didn't know like this sounds dumb, but when they first showed the previews,
Mhm.
I especially because I don't like recall the earlier movies, even not just the ones I haven't seen and the ones that I have seen, like I remember I forget what it was, but something about like the way that they branded the initial preview, like when it was just like an initial thing, seemed like it was like not a trailer for a new Mission Impossible. I thought it was like a thing like, oh, honoring like the like something anniversary of the first Mission Impossible, and it was just like a bunch of like clips from earlier movies cut together, because I remember like when they released it, they had like some message at the beginning of the trailer that made it seem like it wasn't about a new movie, and then I was like, oh wait, no, there's a new Mission Impossible movie coming out.
Yeah, I think that trailer that you're talking about for Dead Reckoning is that really solid because it's the in the genre that we would call like a vibe trailer, like the same
Mhm.
kind of thing that we would call like the Avatar trailer, like the Way of Water trailer, where it's like there's just music playing and then it's just a bunch of clips from the movie
Yeah,
and then there's like whispering voiceover like that or like hushed tone voiceover over top
yeah,
of it. Um it's so sick. And like when you see, because like in the trailer, you see like Tom Cruise driving around in a little cab, like little car around Italy, and then you see it. Yeah, it's good.
yeah. Owen, how excited are you for this movie? Have you seen any
Well,
Mission Impossibles?
would I have to see the other ones to go see this in theaters? You think
I
I
don't
should?
think so.
No, you don't have to see them. It would help because
Yeah,
Yeah,
there is like an arc that happens, but
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, as somebody who really enjoyed Fallout, not having remembered the previous ones, I think you could definitely
This
enjoy
is coming out
watching them.
when, Doug?
summer sometime,
Summer?
right?
I
Yeah.
So
think
I, I
I think they said May. I could be
May.
wrong, but I think they said
Really?
May.
Oh, May sounds scary because I don't know if I'll be able to get to all of them by May. But I would, yeah, I would like to watch all of them. I've seen the first one because it was directed by Brian De Palma, but I haven't seen the other Mission Impossible movies. If I get around to it, then I will
It
watch
is
them, obviously. But
July 14th right now.
July
Oh,
14th.
okay.
Yeah,
I
I'd
might have
probably be
confused them.
able to. I'd probably be able to get those in then. Yeah, and if I end up liking them, I'll go see it, obviously. But I
Yeah.
might just check it out just to check it out in theaters.
Yeah,
I
I'm relatively excited. Let's take a little break and then keep going through more anticipated movies. Okay, we're back from our break. We're gonna go back to talking about 2023 movies, and now we're on to Wonka.
Wonka. Owen
Um,
has some thoughts about
I
the silly
do
Willy
because
Wonka movie.
yeah,
apparently Doug has lesser thoughts about this movie. I really like Timothy Chalamet. I think Timothy Chalamet's great. I really actually do like the old Willy
Hot take.
Wonka with Gene Wilder, which is that's a blazing hot take as well. The Tim Burton one is whatever. But Paul King directing this is a really big, interesting thing. So I really like Paddington
So
2 a lot.
we've all seen the Paddington movies. Have any of us
Big-
seen any of his other movies? Like any of his
No.
live action
No,
movies?
But
those
I
are
just
movies
found
that
out that he was the Paddington director about 12 seconds ago as Owen was talking. I looked at his directing credits
Yeah.
while Owen was talking, and I
That's so
found out that
funny.
he's the Paddington director. And my excitement for Wonka has just gone up a significant amount.
Yeah,
I'm
so
like,
he's
this is a live reaction to me figuring out how excited I am for Wonka.
so Paul King actually isn't doing Paddington 3
Yeah, he's
because
doing
of this
Wonka
movie.
instead.
Yeah. He couldn't do
Interesting.
Paddington 3 because of Wonka. So it's like this is a
Which
pretty big
I
deal.
love Paddington 2, but I think I'd prefer a really great Wonka movie instead of another good Paddington movie. That might be a little hot take there, but I think Timothy Chalamet musical Willy Wonka movie sounds right up my alley, and I'm
Okay.
really excited.
But let me throw this out instead. If there weren't going to be another Wonka movie, how would your excitement measure if instead of a Wonka movie, Paddington 3's villain was Timothée Chalamet?
What the fuck?
I'd love. Give me him. Give me all the Timothée Chalamet.
Would you still be more excited to see him in Wonka or as the villain?
Yes, I would be more excited to see the Willy Wonka movie just because I really like Willy Wonka as a character, and I think this movie sounds like kind of made for me in that way. So yeah, I'm really excited for this. I would have, if you want to throw Timothée Chalamet in the next Paddington movie, sure. I'd just rather this movie.
About time Timothée Chalamet is going to be doing his little singing and dancing in a movie.
It's and I think this is really fun
because
Also, I'm just gonna put this out there. It's so unrelated, but have you I'm looking at Paul King's Letterboxd picture right now, and he looks so much like what I would expect the director of Paddington to look like.
He kind of looks like Paddington. If Paddington was like an older man,
like a nice little white guy. Nice little white man.
Sorry, when are we gonna watch Bunny and the Bull together?
That's what I was gonna say. Like, I don't know anything about any of his other movies. I only know about
because
movies.
Let's see Paul King without the bear. Let's retract this little bear that we all love from Paul King and see what lies.
Let's take off the Paddington goggles.
Right? yeah.
And see if Paul King is still a good filmmaker.
Okay. What if we don't need to take off the Paddington?
Well, I mean,
what if we keep the Paddington goggles on instead?
Just see everyone in his movies as Paddington.
Yeah, I love.
Even we talked about Timothée Chalamet, but I think this cast is really stacked as well. You have Sally Hawkins, Olivia Colman. There you go.
Rowan Atkins. Keegan-Michael Key. What the fuck?
I don't know.
Olivia Colman is by far my favorite working actress right now. I wish she was not in that really bad movie that I will not name this year.
Timothée Chalamet and Sally Hawkins' Willy Wonka movie by Paul King is kind of like perfect for me. I don't know how better you can get than that. I really hope this movie isn't bad. But I'll probably like it even if it is bad.
Yeah, I mean that's not for Owen. That's just like normal. Owen liking a movie that is negatively received.
No matter how bad this movie is, the fact that what it is, I will enjoy it.
This is like the biggest layup for you, Owen. This is like I forgot. I didn't even realize Sally Hawkins was in this movie. He's like one of your favorite actresses too.
Yeah, no, this movie looked awesome.
Yeah.
Let's okay, and I could be wrong here, but I assume you're maybe at least like almost guaranteeing as much of a layup for our next movie, Infinity Pool. I think we all are excited for this movie, right?
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm the only one that's seen Brandon Cronenberg's
that's
movie,
right. I don't think that's as much as a layup for me as Wonka, but I am very excited for it because of one person in particular.
I want to watch Possessor.
I was going to say, I've seen Possessor. You guys haven't, right?
So no, I have a little bit. I want to watch it.
Better of an
I'd like to watch it before the new one comes out.
Possessor. I always say this about Possessor. It's directed very just as somebody on set directing the movie, right? It is directed very well, and you could really see that in the movie. But Brandon Cronenberg is not the writer that his father is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my issue with Possession. Infinity Pool looks fucking sick.
Not the poster, but the actual banner for this movie. Literally gonna live in my nightmares. That's one thing. And this is the thing. This is something I want to clarify. Because of our conversation earlier.
Yeah. I
like scary movies a lot.
Doesn't sound I don't know, for the people at home.
I am not anti horror movies. And not just that, but I want movies. I want movies to scare me. I don't want them to cross a boundary for me. And certain movies do that. If a movie is, literally, and granted, none of these movies are scary. They're just in the horror genre. But 3 out of the last 4 years, my favorite movie of the year has been a horror movie. None of them are actually that scary. But
so what happened with Terrifier 2?
Well, that's the thing. That's where I'm there's movies. Okay, and you guys aren't gonna agree with this because it's so silly. And I'm not I'm not discrediting how silly it is. I'm not saying that Terrifier 2 is not silly and has very strong comedic moments. My issue is that, and I've said this a number of times already, like the clown genuinely fucking terrifies me. Like there's no other way to describe it.
Fair enough.
Like it's so scary to me that I
don't like that
can't
movie.
watch this movie. Like I can't enjoy this movie because I'm
Doug's favorite
so
movie
scared by him.
It's
If
not
I
my
watch
favorite
this is
movie.
the difference. This is the difference. If I watch Terrifier 2 in theaters with a crowd of people, it might be one of my favorite movies of last year. But because I watched it in the dark at home by myself, it's
Hey, we were there. We were there.
and like Infinity Pool, I'm hoping at least I will see in theaters. So if it genuinely is scary and scary in the way that I like, where it's with a crowd experience, then yeah, like I think I'm gonna enjoy this movie. And I really like I like the cast. Like genuinely am excited to see these people in a horror movie.
Mia Goth, friend of the podcast.
Friend of the pod,
I
Mia Goth.
think we've agreed to a situation where she is all three of our wives, right?
Speak for yourself.
No.
I like Mia Goth. I haven't achieved the like Mia Goth lover status that a lot of people have.
You don't. You're not a.
Goth.
Yeah, I think I'd like to see her in everything.
Here's what I will say. I love.
Sad that she's not in the Willy Wonka movie because that'd be great.
I love her like in what she's like. I loved her in X and Pearl. Like,
have you seen her?
Genuinely loved her. I don't know how much I love her yet as like an actress altogether. Where I'm like, she has not yet achieved like that status for me. Where I'm like,
what have you seen her outside of this too?
I don't
really
know
great
that.
Because
she's really great in Nymphomaniac too.
Yeah, I really like
watched Suspiria and I haven't seen. Yeah, I don't think I've seen any of her other movies.
I really like her in High Life and A Cure for Wellness. I think she's really great. I saw her in X and I was like, this is a brilliant actress. I'd like to see more of her. And then she was brilliant in her other things. So yeah, I'm ready to see Mia Goth in whatever she wants to do because
I'm ready to see
fun.
Mia Goth like let loose and like be like, you know, like the scene stealer Mia Goth and something that's not fucking attached to Ty West. I'm done with
because as much as me and Ty West share opinions on Psycho 1998, he's not the greatest director out there, and I think I'd like to see Mia Goth continue to do really interesting projects with other people
like Infinity Pool.
Exactly.
I mean, okay, all I'm gonna say about the Mia Goth thing is that like I probably should watch more of her movies and maybe I'll be even bigger on her.
Maybe.
Like, A Cure for Wellness is like a movie that I genuinely want to check out and have wanted to check out for a while. What I'm gonna say is Alexander Skarsgård being in this movie gets me way more excited because Alexander Skarsgård is in one of my favorite movies of last year and he killed it. So yeah, I'm excited for that. But let's move on to our next movie. The Killer, which is David Fincher's new movie.
Another situation. It's like soft 2023 could be pushed back to 2024.
Yes. Yeah. There's no confirmation, but as far as we know at the time of recording this, we think it's coming out in 2023.
Yeah. This movie, it's based off a graphic novel, right? And it's starring Michael Fassbender as an assassin.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't know all that much about.
It almost feels like the Wes Anderson thing, where it's like we have our cast, we have our director, we have this poster. Both movies star Tilda Swinton, but I really don't have much else to kind of grasp on here. I love Michael Fassbender,
but it's a new David Fincher movie starring Michael Fassbender, whose character's name is the Killer. How does that not get you excited?
Well, no, I'm excited. I'm excited because it has Michael Fassbender and it has all these things that is named. But it's not enough for me to be like over the moon, like can't wait for this because there's not really much for me to hold on to here.
I don't know. I feel like this is a genre that David Fincher owns.
Encumbered by, I can't even.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not crazy. I don't know. Fincher is good. I'm gonna see it. I'm excited for it.
I'll say I'm super excited.
Say it.
Like crime thriller type thing.
Yeah.
Like this is David Fincher's bread and butter. Like this is like, I think there's like again, I never like to say this or whatever, but it's like, I'm pretty much going into this like assuming that it's a guarantee that this is going to be good, and it's just a matter of like time until I see it. So yeah, I'm super excited for this. We don't know much about. I don't know much about the story.
I'm sure it's going to be fantabulous. I'm not really playing grab on.
Interesting choice of words. Yeah.
Napoleon.
Anything else about The Killer, Doug?
No,
Yeah,
it's
what are you
gonna
gonna
be
say?
no.
What to
What can I
say?
say? It's gonna be good. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, these movies are
I'm
long
excited
as
for
Yeah,
David
we don't need
Fincher.
to go into detail. We don't know all that much, but
Yeah,
I'm very
I'm
excited for
excited
it.
that
Let's
he's gonna
move
make a
on.
movie now.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, shout
Uh,
out David.
Another,
Must
I mean,
be.
this is like, yeah,
Yeah,
obviously, this is
directors
obviously,
after directors here.
I was gonna say, like, obviously, like every year you could expect like a number of big directors to release a movie, but yeah, this is like now that we're getting through this list, I'm realizing like there's a ton of directing talent. Anyway, speaking of which, up next, Napoleon, Ridley Scott movie.
Yeah, talk
How
about a guy
excited are
I
you
like.
guys, and how big are you on Ridley Scott?
Bigger than
We
most.
Yeah, I like Ridley Scott a lot. Yeah, I don't know.
I like Ridley Scott a lot. I don't really know if I care for Napoleon as like a movie kind of seller there, but I think Ridley Scott will make me go see Napoleon, and I think Ridley Scott can make me care about watching Napoleon.
I
So I am
think
excited for that. And Joaquin Phoenix, of course, is brilliant.
Yeah,
this movie, I think, sneaky best movie of the year, like one of Ridley Scott's best movies, kind of
Yeah,
might be going on here.
I think,
Yeah.
and it's also like, yeah, it's 2.5 hours, which makes sense because it's Napoleon. Like, it's gonna be
Yeah.
some probably like epic tale. And I like, okay, I don't know what happened to me. I'm not sure why this happened, but when I watched Come On with Joaquin Phoenix, some kind of like flip switched in me where I was like I've always acknowledged how talented of an actor Joaquin Phoenix is. Like, I think most people can agree he's one of, if not maybe the most talented actor on the planet. Like,
Yeah.
and I watched Come On, and I was like, oh shit, like this guy's one of my favorite actors. And I just like didn't realize that until that point. And that's so recent. But I'm like, I didn't know that I felt so strongly about Joaquin Phoenix until then. And that's what pushed me to finally watch You Were Never Really Here. And then I was like, oh shit, this guy really is one of my favorite actors.
Yeah.
So like seeing him take on like something like Napoleon, I'm like, now I'm just super excited because I clearly I love this guy more than I was leading on, at least in my own like head. I'm less excited about the fact that it's a Ridley Scott movie, which I know is a hot take, but
Are you a Ridley Scott hater for some
no,
reason?
okay.
Oh,
Well, here's
come on.
here's what
Come
I will
on.
say. Ridley Scott has made 3 movies that I totally love. I totally love Blade Runner. I totally love Alien, and I totally love Gladiator. What I will say is that Ridley Scott's recent movie, House of Gucci, and I know that I don't think you agree with me on this, Doug.
I like that
But House of
movie.
Gucci is one of my least favorite movies I have seen in like the past couple of years. I like despise this movie,
Learn to
and
have fun.
I mean, that's the thing. That's where I hate House of Gucci so much because it's not about like what it is as a movie. I genuinely have never been that fucking bored in a movie theater in like years. Like I was watching House of Gucci and in my head I was like, this is a 7-hour long movie. Like I could not see the end. I was bored the entire time. And it's at least in the past couple years, the closest I've gotten to falling asleep in a movie theater. Like,
Yeah. Well, speaking of recent Ridley Scott, I have not seen House of Gucci. I should probably see that because his other 2 recent movies I think are brilliant. I think The Last Duel and Alien Covenant are fantastic. So I think if we can get that Ridley Scott instead of this House of Gucci Ridley Scott that you're talking about.
No.
no, but that's the thing. It's like people could like House of Gucci.
No,
I'm not telling people not to
I'm
like
just saying, if we can get The Last Duel, Alien Covenant, Ridley Scott with Napoleon, I think I'm gonna really like this movie.
So the thing that I think is kind of interesting about House of Gucci that we can interrogate is that it is very clear that Ridley Scott, the way that Ridley Scott directed that movie, was not the way that maybe most directors would have, and maybe
Yeah.
not the way he should have.
Yeah, I should watch it.
But the way that he directed that movie, I think, is interesting when we're thinking about Napoleon now, because Ridley Scott, he literally like he not he just like let Jared Leto do his thing. Jared Leto started going off the rails, and Ridley Scott was like, "Yeah, Jared Leto, like you're one of the great actors. Just keep going. Like you do your thing." Like he didn't do anything to kind of like reel him in. And I think it's interesting now going into Napoleon, where like this is a character study on like this like centering around like one of our great like characters in history, and one of our great actors ever, right? And it's like, oh yeah, let's have just Ridley Scott like be on set with Joaquin Phoenix, telling Joaquin Phoenix like, yeah, just do whatever you want, you know,
Yeah.
just you're one of our great actors, just like just letting Joaquin Phoenix cook with like no direction.
Joaquin Phoenix cook. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's exciting because
And that's where I'm coming from with my House of Gucci take, where I'm like, I don't dislike Ridley Scott as a director at all because I've liked a majority of the movies I've seen from him. It's just that that's the most recent one I've seen, so it's like that leaves a bad taste in my mouth because of how much I dislike it. But like, of course, I'm excited. Like you said, yeah. So I don't know.
Seems like you hate Ridley Scott.
Yeah, no, that's what it made it seem like. And I'm like, I'm not telling people not to like House of Gucci. If you like House of Gucci,
it's a little odd.
I just like, I wish I liked it more, but I like really don't like that movie. Next, let's go on to, this is a interesting jump from Ridley Scott, but we're gonna talk about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I don't know how much you guys care about Into the Spider-Verse, but
it's a movie.
Like, you know, it's obviously a movie that a lot of people like hype up a lot, and maybe people might now consider overrated because of how much hype it's gotten. But I love
anything with hype is overrated.
I do want to say Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the 16th highest movie on the Letterboxd Top 250.
Yeah,
a little high,
but it's fine.
Some may say
it's good.
It's a movie.
I don't love it half as much as the consensus is, but it's good.
You know what you rated it?
I do know what I rated it. Would you like me to tell you what I rated it?
I mean, I'm just curious now.
I rated it a 3.5 star.
Okay. Well, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like, yes. When I saw that movie,
but I feel like this is a movie you would really like. Is that the truth?
What? The Into the Spider-Verse, you mean?
Yeah.
A whole lot. Yeah. I love Into the Spider-Verse. And I just like, I don't know. I'm not like entirely huge on superheroes in general. But Into the Spider-Verse is Spider-Man, and he's like one of the few superheroes where I'm like, I do want to see stories with Spider-Man. Like this is one of the few superhero characters where I'm like, I want to watch this. And then when you just add in like what felt like a very creative movie to me, I ate it up. Like I thought that Into the Spider-Verse was very cool. It was like super fun. And it's like, it's just got such a like watchability about it where I'm like, I just want to watch this over and over and over again. I don't know.
The movie's good. The movie's really good. I'm not going to get on here and say that Into the Spider-Verse is a bad movie. That's crazy.
Yeah.
No, the movie's really good. I think that, but when we're talking about Across the Spider-Verse, which is the new one coming out, it's hard for me to feel excited about it for two reasons. Superhero multiverse shit is so played out.
Yeah.
And I'm getting fucking a little tired of it.
I could agree with that.
And also, I actually did not like Mitchell's versus the Machines, it's great. It's a studio movie, but that's like the only other kind of like reference point I have recently for the Sony Picture Classics, like animated films. So it's like, I don't know. It's hard for me to get like really worked up about this.
I mean, they are two pretty like distinctly different things, but I see where you're coming from in terms of like comparing them just as like Sony Pictures.
It just feels like a movie that I'll watch and I'll enjoy, but I really won't like it. It's just that's it. It's kind of that kind of. I'll see it, I'll be like, that was good, and then move on. It's kind of whatever. Like it's a good movie.
Yeah, you're gonna watch it and be like, Puss in Boots is better.
Probably.
I mean, to be fair, but I haven't yet seen Puss in Boots, but it seems like people are talking about it like it's one of the best animated movies.
It's a good animated movie that I have a connection to. But I feel like Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse will be good, and that's just pretty much it.
I could tell you guys aren't like super I mean that's all I'm gonna say. All I'm gonna say is I'm very excited to see this movie.
And
we can move on to the next one.
We're not trying to be negative, okay?
It's not. I do not have any negative feelings towards the animated Spider-Man movie. I just
all I'm saying, I'm not trying to paint it as like you guys are negative on this movie thing. I'm trying to say that, like,
you hate Ridley Scott, we can hate the Spider-Man movie.
Exactly. Okay, whatever. my point is that I'm very excited for this movie, and that's all.
Fair enough.
There's a lot of people. Let's go to Renfield, directed by Chris McKay. Is Chris McKay related to Adam McKay in any way? Can we?
Who cares? Both of them not the greatest of directors. This movie looks very interesting, if that's the word you want to use. I love Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage is one of my favorite actors, and I think him playing Count Dracula is kind of perfect. Like, this is some of my favorite casting in a while. I feel like the rest of the movie looks kind of bad though. So like, yeah, pro Nicolas Cage Dracula, anti kind of everything else going on here. I will see it just because Nicolas Cage is Dracula, but I'm not excited for Chris McKay making this movie.
Yeah. Okay. Quick fact check. I don't believe that they are
they're not related.
which gives me more optimism because anybody who is related to Adam McKay can't possibly be a good director.
Yeah.
We also it's like Chris McKay is also he's coming off of the Tomorrow War, which is
not
the
a great
Prime original film.
Yeah, not a fan of that movie.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I sadly have.
I did not check that one out because it stars Chris Pratt and it's called The Tomorrow War. But the people don't like that movie.
Yeah,
well, that was that's how I felt. That's how I felt about the movie going in. I went into the movie knowing I wasn't gonna like it, and I still took the time to watch it anyway. And shocker, I didn't like it.
Yeah, the Lego Batman's good, but like I don't see how that translates to Renfield.
Tomorrow
World looks
not much overlap. There's not much overlap between those two things. You know what I mean? Like Lego Batman and the Tomorrow War. So it's like, if these are not, if there's no overlap, and there's no real way to like judge how that'll translate to Renfield. So.
Also, this is going to be a weird. Bear with me here. I think the fact that it's starring Nicholas Hoult makes me less excited about it too. Not because I think Nicholas Hoult is a good actor, but I think that he maybe doesn't have the best taste in terms of like projects that he picks.
Neither does Nicolas Cage.
Well, but no, Nicolas Cage does anything. But like
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but like I don't know. He's like Nicholas Hoult. It's like I can't think of a Nicholas Hoult movie a movie where he was in or a project he was attached to that like really excited me. You know.
I can think of one in particular. That's one of my favorite movies ever. But
The Menu,
Mad Max
guy,
Fury
right?
Road.
Yeah, the Menu.
Oh, he was.
Kevin
Mad
loves
Max.
The Menu.
Yeah, I like Mad Max. Okay, I take back what I said. Then I guess. Yeah,
that's one movie.
Also, he's in The Favorite. He's in The Favorite, which is really good.
All right, but look at this bull crap filmography here. Like, this is not great. I'm saying, I hope
you're also treating Nicholas Hoult as like a leading man when, like, in reality,
he is a leading man here. This is a leading man here.
He is a leading man here.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. It's like you can't look at his filmography and judge it like he's like some movie star. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, he is a movie star.
I was thinking about The Menu, and I was just like, I don't like The Menu.
But he's interesting. You can't say he's not interesting in it. At least
no, that's what I mean. It's like it's not about him as an actor as much as it's about
what he's picking.
His taste for the projects that he picks.
Yeah,
but I guess I was preempted to say that because I do really like Mad Max and The Favorite.
Here's what I'll say. I hope this is my favorite movie of the year. I have very big doubts that it will not even come close, and that is the sad part about it. I think Nicolas Cage, Count Dracula, is brilliant, and everything else kind of scares me.
Yeah, and I'm also like, I hate to bring it up, but if we're just talking about Nicolas Cage, like, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent was not a good movie.
Not a great one. not a
good movie.
Kind of a stinker. Yeah.
So I don't know. Obviously, I still like Nicolas Cage and other stuff, but that certainly makes me less optimistic about this movie that I'm already not that excited for.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage is a vampire, though. Vampire's Kiss is a great movie. So if any more of that is going to be in here, give me that. I'll enjoy it kind of on that level.
Yeah. All right.
Give me that cheesy Nicolas Cage performance, and I'm sold.
Do we want to talk about this movie? Do we have anything to say about this?
About Evil Dead Rise?
Yeah, Evil Dead Rise.
I mean, on the surface level, we can talk about.
Yeah, what I will say is I've never watched an Evil Dead movie, so I can't offer that much. But
me and Owen haven't seen the remake.
Okay. Well, yeah, but this isn't. I don't think it's anything to do with the remake.
Yeah, it's a sequel to the remake, isn't it?
Is it? None of these people are in the remake. That's the weird thing is we don't really know, because none of this it's a different director, right? It's a different director. None of these cast members are in the remake.
Oh, this is a prequel. I just read the plot description.
It's a prequel to the remake.
It's a prequel to Evil Dead.
The Sam Raimi movie.
One of them. It's like
Interesting.
either the Sam Raimi
What?
movie or the remake.
All
Yeah.
Well,
right.
they have the same plot. What do you want me to say? It's
Well, yeah. So it is. So no. So okay. So it isn't clear there if it's a sequel to the concept of Evil Dead.
yeah. This
Yeah.
is the plot. Like the plot description makes it very clear to me that this is takes place before the events of the
Okay.
cabin and stuff.
Yeah,
I
I
thought
mean,
you guys
that's
would be. I don't
interesting.
know. I assumed you guys were going to be more excited for this.
I'm
So
excited
yeah,
about it.
I was
Listen,
unaware of
produced,
that.
No. It's fine. Produced by Sam Raimi and
written by Bruce
Campbell.
Campbell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
And-
know. All
and
I know
Robert.
is that Evil Dead, in terms of like franchise movies coming out next year, like when we were talking about like stuff I might have to binge leading up to it, Evil Dead
Oh, I'm
is
excited.
one
for
of the
that.
franchises where I'm like, I want to
It's
watch the
time.
Evil Dead
It's
movies. Like
time.
I'll
It's
do this.
time.
Yeah, like I'll
Yeah.
do this.
Um,
So there's
yeah.
at least like
They're good.
there's hope there that I like the Evil Dead movies, and that gets me excited for this one.
I
That's
don't
what I'm saying.
think that you will like the Evil Dead remake.
The
Yeah.
remake.
I haven't
Yeah,
seen
the
the
remake.
I think I think you'll really like.
I think I will really like the original.
I
Like,
think you'll really like Evil Dead 2 and Army of
Yeah,
Darkness.
You will like Evil
Um,
Dead 2 for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, the thing with me is, so I'm interested in this because I have Evil Dead attached to it,
Mhm.
but it's like I like Evil Dead because of Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like there's just so I don't know. I hope this is good, but the two
I'm
aspects I
interested. I'm
really
interested.
like. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
interested, but the two aspects I really like about Evil Dead 2 and all that franchise is Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi, and that's just really not. They're producing, but that's not the same.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't have to
Okay.
go into it too much. Let's look at
Oh hell yeah!
65. I know all three of us are very excited for this
65,
movie.
also
Movie of the year.
known as Before Earth.
Yeah. Also
Yes.
known as the best Adam Driver movie of 2023.
Yeah.
also known as the best dinosaur movie ever made.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
Now we're pushing limits. I think. I
Oh,
was
not,
with
it's not
you.
even
Yeah.
even really close. I think
Okay.
Scott Beck and
I'm-
Brian Woods are going to bring it as
Yeah.
superior directors to anybody who's ever touched a dinosaur
Okay,
movie.
I don't like this joke anymore. I like this
I
joke
think
at first. I
Adam
don't like this
Driver-
joke now.
I love
But
that Adam
you like
Driver
the joke
is.
when the joke was on Michael Mann, but now you don't like it because it's on Mr. Spielberg. Huh?
Yeah, okay, it's not about
Oh,
Mr.
not
Spielberg. It's
Daddy
about Mr.
Spielberg.
Spielberg's best movie in my eyes. Jurassic
Oh,
Park.
it's not hard to
Um,
have a best movie if they're all bad.
Okay.
All right.
Well, nobody listening to the
That's
podcast
really
needs
funny.
to know just how much you hate Steven Spielberg.
Oh, I don't have any problem with Steven. I just
Yeah.
I think Adam Driver's movie here is going to be a smash hit, and I'm really excited to see him do this weird, funky dinosaur action
Yeah.
movie because I like seeing the great directors do fun things. And this looks
Yeah.
a lot of
I mean,
fun,
this-
and
yeah,
I'm
the trailer
really
looks
excited for
awesome.
this. Yeah.
I'm genuinely excited from watching the trailer, and I don't know if that's the opinion that is like the consensus about the trailer.
Yeah, no,
I've heard negative feelings about this trailer.
The
Ah,
trailer
it looks
fucking
awesome.
incredible. Yeah, the trailer
Yeah.
looks amazing. This is one of those like it's low concepts like sci-fi action with
Yeah,
a
a lot
star
of fun.
attached to it. You know, it's like this is like we need more shit like this. Like it's like low concept as in it's like what if a guy with a gun goes back in time 65
Yeah.
million years to dinosaurs
Yeah.
or whatever. Call that
And-
Also,
65.
Alexandra Shipp is in it. I don't know if I even remember seeing her in the trailer, but I like Alexandra
know who
Shipp
that
a
is.
lot. So she's in Love, Simon, which is a movie that I really like.
Yeah.
And I think she did really good in Tick Tick Boom, even though I'm not like totally in love with that movie. So yeah,
And
I'm
for what
excited.
Adam
Adam Driver
worth,
rocks.
though, yeah, for what it's worth, though, we just talked about Evil Dead Rise. This is a movie that's also produced by Sam Raimi. So
Oh, I forgot
Oh.
about that.
for
Yeah.
whatever that is worth, Sam Raimi is also attached to 65.
I was unaware.
So Sam Raimi is a
Um,
busy guy this year.
Oh, and Danny Elfman is doing the score. I'm just looking at the crew.
Yeah, Danny Elfman, who
yeah.
you don't know, one of like maybe the 5 greatest film composers ever.
Ever, yeah.
I
So
didn't
sounds
realize.
like a great time. Great time with the
Yeah.
65 here.
Sounds
Yeah.
literally, I think for all three of us, like one of our most anticipated movies of the year.
Yeah, I'm
Looks
excited
like
for
looks
65.
like a blast.
I'm excited for 65. However, I'm probably more excited for this next movie than other people are, specifically the two other people here. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Yeah, this movie looks like dog shit.
Yeah, okay. Well, here's the thing. There's a certain level of
Mhm.
excitement that I get for hate watches, like because I don't I try to see most new releases, but at the same time it's like I'm obviously going to prioritize movies that are good, but that makes like my worst of the years more like fun for me when I actually like take the time out of my day to watch like this really bad movie that I'm just gonna like shit on the whole time. And like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, like in comparison to like other hate watches I might have, seems significantly more fun. And I think
Winnie
that
the
it's
Pooh,
not a
Blood
high
and
possibility,
Honey.
but there's a real possibility that I genuinely like this movie.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, from the director of The Killing Tree.
There you go.
The Area 51 incidents, Firenado. Dinosaur Prison, Sky Monster.
I mean, it's one of our finest directors.
Also, producer of the Easter Bunny Massacre, right?
Okay.
Jack Frost, Dinosaur Hotel. Like, I don't know, Kevin. I think even if you're really excited for this movie, I think we should start getting into some other works by the great guy here, because I think you'll really enjoy. If you're really excited for,
let's not name him.
No, I think we have some movies to get to, because I think you'll really like Firenado and The Killing Tree.
Firenado sounds like an intriguing movie to me, and that's all.
You're insane.
All 13 members on Letterboxd that have logged it, I think, really enjoyed it.
I get the idea. I get the idea that you guys aren't that excited for Winnie the Pooh.
No, I'm just saying. I think there's a lot of movies similar to this that have already existed that you can check out as well. I'm just, giving you some recommendations here because I know how excited you are.
All I'm gonna say is give it a chance. Okay, let's not be so hard on Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Okay, let's give it a chance, because this is very much like in the territory of I'm gonna give this 2.5 stars, but it's by far gonna be my favorite 2.5 star of the year.
That's crazy.
I mean, that's high praise.
I think Winnie the Pooh, but Blood and Honey looks like a half-star movie. It looks like a movie that
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
a fat half-star.
Listen, it's possible.
Probably not even gonna see it.
It's possible that I hate it, but whatever. On the same exact subject, let's just knock it out, because I know you guys are gonna shit all over this movie.
Talk about another half-star here.
Let's talk about another movie that I'm excited for that both of you guys are hating on. Okay, Cocaine Bear.
Looks like a fucking joke. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, it is a joke. Listen, Cocaine Bear.
A joke that I'm not laughing at. I really, it's
from the
director. The trailer looks bad. Genuinely looks bad.
Horrible.
From the director of Movie 43,
Friend of the
Charlie's Angels remake.
Yeah.
Okay, but also you say Movie 43, but you don't mention Pitch Perfect 2. Come on.
Also a bad movie. I don't know what do you want from me.
Sure, if you're a loser, maybe. Like, Pitch Perfect rocks.
All right. Whatever you say about Pitch Perfect 2 has nothing to do with Cocaine Bear, because that is a completely different thing.
It does have something to do because they have the same director.
But how is their Pitch Perfect 2
guys, is Cocaine Bear the last movie Ray Liotta is ever in?
Yeah.
I wasn't even aware Ray Liotta's in the movie.
I'm like 98% sure this is the end of Ray Liotta's career here with this SNL Bear movie.
That's actually really sad. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Sad, or exciting.
Don't do those things. Yeah. So I mean, when Cocaine Bear, like the Cocaine little poster came out, I was like, hey, this is a concept. This is an idea. That trailer dropped, and every like optimistic opinion I had about this movie left the door, because this movie looks like garbage.
Yeah,
it looks like a waste of time.
Listen, it's very likely that it's going to be one of the worst movies of the year. I'm not denying that, but I'm also not going to deny that I'm excited to give it a chance. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, maybe it's just because I don't know. I just feel like this movie has been getting a lot more talk than a lot of the movies on this list, and there's a lot of like really great, like soon to be, I'm assuming, great movies here, and then Cocaine Bear is running with headlines. So that is
I get that. I can certainly see that. Okay, let's move on from Cocaine Bear, because there's a couple movies that we should probably try to squeeze in here. This one, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, is coming out pretty early into 2023, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Like May.
Yeah, well, earlier than a lot of these other movies we're talking about, at least.
Infinity Pool comes out this month. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah, it comes out in January.
Interesting. Okay, so Super Mario Bros. How do we feel? I'm not a Chris Pratt fan whatsoever.
Yeah.
But the movie itself looks like fun to me. It
We're
looks
not-
like a movie that
okay.
I might enjoy.
Let me break this down for you. We're not Chris Pratt fans,
Or
but
Mario guys.
but
Yeah.
I can say for sure I'm a big Mario guy, and I
Mhm.
am an Anya Taylor-Joy super fan.
Yeah.
So of course I'm excited for this. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah. And one thing that this movie does well is that as people who don't like Chris Pratt, we don't actually have to look at him. we only have to listen to him.
That is true. Which is,
So,
half the fight there.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think you look
the
past
guys
Chris
that-
Pratt though, and this is a brilliant cast.
yeah, I'm in
And
agreement.
the
There's
guys
like
that are
fun picks
directing
here.
this movie too directed the Teen Titans Go movie, which was really
Oh,
good. That
okay.
movie was actually kind of smart and funny. So I'm really
I
excited.
didn't see that. But
Yeah. I love the Teen Titans show. I haven't seen the Teen Titans Go movie, but maybe I should check that out.
sounds like a fake fan. But yeah,
Yeah,
I think
a
the
little
Super
bit.
Mario movies I kind of feel similar with the Into the Spider-Verse movie. Probably a little more excited for Super Mario. But yeah, it's just a movie.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks cool. I think what I will
Looks good.
say
Wish Chris
is-
Pratt wasn't attached to it.
yeah, but what I will say is like like putting aside like just the voice acting cast, like
Yeah.
it looks cool.
It does
like
look
the
cool,
actual like visual appeal of this movie, like the way that they're building like the Super Mario Bros. Like world for the
Yeah.
movie. Like in my opinion, at least, like when I watched the trailer, I was like, "Oh, this looks cool." Like when I saw in the trailer the little like Rainbow Road scene, I was like, "Oh, I'm like excited for this movie."
Yeah.
I also I like how they're handling. I like how Princess Peach looks in the trailer. Like how she's gonna be like the kind of warrior Princess Peach going on.
Mhm.
I think that sounds awesome. Yeah, I'm excited for
Yeah.
it.
Princess
Yeah,
Peach.
relative
Oof.
excitement.
Oof.
Let's just we're gonna power through some of these movies because we're gonna squeeze as many as we can. Let's
Yeah.
talk about the new Indiana Jones movie. Fun fact, have not seen any Indiana Jones movies.
Don't worry about it.
No, you should worry about it. They're good. Raiders of
Yeah.
the Lost Ark is one of my favorite movies of all time. I will say about this, I am not one to be like, we need 10 million old ass sequels. Like,
Oh no.
like we don't need like a new Indiana Jones movie or anything. The trailer for this movie is so fucking good. The trailer for this movie is so good. It's insane. I cannot believe I'm excited for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
Dial of
here's
Destiny
my-
is a horrible title. I hate that.
yeah,
thing.
I don't like that.
Sounds
But
like a
what I do
stupid
like
Marvel movie.
is like this sounds extreme, but this cast makes me want to binge the Indiana Jones movies. Like Phoebe Waller-Bridge as the second lead to Harrison Ford. I could not be like more excited for that. Like I'm so in love with Fleabag. I think it is so good. I think Phoebe Waller-Bridge is so talented.
Mhm.
Like seeing her in this big blockbuster in Indiana Jones movie makes me think that it's worth it to watch all the other ones before this. Plus Mads Mikkelsen, who
Yeah.
I like.
Kevin, I think you would like the Indiana Jones movies.
No, I genuinely think I will. I think I will a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'd say relative excitement for this one for me, depending on my reaction to binging the Indiana Jones movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably a skip for me.
L plus
Okay.
ratio plus you're dumb plus good. Moving on to Scream 6. Owen, talk about it.
Yeah.
Scream
So
6.
Scream 5 is okay. I feel like it feels like a fan-made Scream movie. And
That's crazy.
I think Scream 6 is just
Interesting.
going to continue that kind of fan-made vibe. I hope it doesn't. I hope it feels like a Scream movie, but also tries something different. It is trying something different. It's in New York, which is interesting as a premise, at least. I'm semi-excited for it just because it is a Scream movie, and I like the Scream movies. But yeah, I'm not crazy about the guys who are directing them.
Yeah, I'm a Scream 5 enjoyer. I really
Certified Scream
like.
5.
Yeah, I really liked Scream 5 in like the
Mhm.
loosest sense. Like I'm not like in love with it or anything, but like I genuinely had a much better time than I was anticipating, especially because Scream 5, I believe, was the first 2022 release that I saw in 2022. So like it was a fun way for me to start the year because I wasn't comparing it to anything
Yeah.
else yet.
Have you
Um,
you've seen all the other Scream movies?
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I'm excited for this one. I don't
I'll-
like
I'll say this right now. make Jack Champion the killer. Avatar: The Way of Water Spider there. Make Spider the killer of this movie, and I'm a fan. That's
okay. Interesting.
Or you know what? Give him a cool kill scene. I want to see Jack Champion do something cool in this movie.
Yeah. Doug, how excited are you for this movie? Whatsoever?
I haven't seen any of them.
Yeah,
Okay.
Doug is
Fair enough. Watch the first Scream at least. That's one of my favorite movies ever.
Watch the first 4.
Yeah,
This
I mean
movie's
they're all
coming out
good,
really
but
soon too. This movie's coming out in like 2 months.
Yeah,
Scream
very
4
soon.
is very underrated, and I think is great.
I'll
Yeah.
watch all of them.
Yeah.
Maybe not
Yeah.
in time to watch the new one, but I'll watch all of them.
Yeah. Okay. We are not going to be able to fit the final 7 movies,
It's a
but
speed round.
I'm going to
Flop or not.
I'm going to at least list these 7 movies off, and you can tell me which one of these 7 you guys are most excited for. So we have the next movie in the Hunger Games series, The Ballad of
Super
Songbirds and
hyped.
Snakes.
The cast
We
for this
have-
is crazy.
Yeah, we have. What'd you say?
The cast and the song.
Oh, the cast. Yeah. Okay.
No, the cat.
Shazam, Fury of Gods. We have The Little Mermaid. We have the new Aquaman movie. We have the new Transformers movie. We have the Dungeons and Dragons movie, and we have Magic Mike's Last Dance. I'm gonna go first. Magic Mike's Last Dance out of these 7 is easily the one that I'm the most excited for. But what I will say is that I do really like the Hunger Games trilogy.
The banner for Magic Mike's Last Dance on Letterboxd is insane.
Yeah. I think I haven't seen any of the Magic Mike movies, but I like Steven Soderbergh enough to say that is going to be the movie I pick out of all those other ones, because I think
You
that
guys
looks
are
like
fucking
really-
lame. My most anticipated movie out of
there
this
he goes.
list, and it's not even close, is Aquaman and the
Yeah,
Lost
yeah.
Kingdom, written and directed by James Wan, the greatest living filmmaker. You guys are smoking crack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I want to make a small correction because I don't even know why I just had this little lapse in judgment. But I'm a Transformers super fan. I like all of these movies, no matter how bad
Apparently
they
not.
are.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You're gonna go with Transformers there.
There's a real conflict here because I genuinely have a strong level of excitement for the Magic Mike movie.
Oh, and it's the guy who did your favorite movie ever, Creed 2.
What for the
Transformers movie.
Yeah,
Transformers
Stephen
movie.
Cable Jr.
Yeah. Listen, the only thing I will say is that the Transformers movie trailer for Rise of the Beasts looks like wrong. It looks like it looks like the movie came out like 10 years ago. I don't know if anybody else gets that feeling, but like I saw the trailer and I was like, this doesn't look like the trailer for a movie coming out.
I think. Well, okay. Here's what I'll say. I think the design for the Transformers in this one is very good. I think they look very good. I think I like the way that the Transformers look in the trailer for Rise of the Beast more than any of like the Michael Bay stuff.
Interesting.
And okay, I'm just gonna
Perlman.
throw this out before we end the episode, but I'm relatively excited for the second Shazam movie. I did enjoy the first Shazam movie.
I'm excited about it too, just because Rachel Zegler is one of my favorite actresses, and she is
New Jersey native. Not just that, but Rachel Zegler could almost become a friend of the pod because I have friends who know Rachel Zegler because she's from New Jersey. So we're
Shout out
we're
friend
a
of
couple
the
steps
pod,
away.
Rachel Zegler.
Rachel Zegler ratioed me on Twitter one time.
No, but all I'm saying is that we're a couple steps away from getting Rachel Zegler to be a friend of the pod.
I'm going to be honest, Kevin. I legitimately don't think I could handle having a conversation with Rachel Zegler.
Yeah, let's just mention The Little Mermaid, the Dungeons and Dragons movie. We don't have to even talk about that.
You know what?
Put Chris Pine in
Dungeons and Dragons. I hope that movie is good.
So do I. I'm not saying
Because honestly,
listen.
that thing looks right up my alley, but it looks bad.
Yeah.
I would like a new good fantasy movie. That movie looks bad. I like John Francis Daly as an actor. I don't know. I haven't seen his movies that he directed, but yeah, I hope that movie's good, but I don't think it will be.
I don't have any excitement for it, but I'm not saying I want it to fail or anything.
Yeah, it's a movie that I don't.
Yeah, I do think that I want to see The Little Mermaid succeed. Not nearly as excited for it as most of the other movies on this list, but I don't know. I hope it's good.
I don't think it'll be good, and I also don't want it to make money. So that's not
Yeah,
me
I'd
hating.
like Disney to kind of burn in a little like hole somewhere.
Yeah, I want Disney to like stop making these fucking live action
Yeah,
remakes. So I hope
and
it
I
doesn't
and
make
I
money.
hate to kind of like have Halle Berry take the fall for that. That's
Yeah, well,
that's
that's
not.
where
her
I'm. Yeah,
fault.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's
no, it's
that's
like
where I'm
it's
coming
like
from. I'm on board with you guys in terms of the Disney hate and
yeah.
specifically the hate
Maybe
for
if
live
this one
action
does well,
adaptations.
and then every other one can
I
do
don't
bad.
want to see. Yeah, I don't want to
Yeah,
see Halle Bailey like take the blame for a problem that is clearly like a
yeah,
Disney live adaptation problem.
Yeah, Halle
yeah.
Bailey is like she's a good singer. I don't know if she's what movies has she been in. Yeah, she's a good
Uh,
singer. I don't
Like
know
Let It
if she's
Shine. Shout out Let It
I don't
Shine.
know if she's a good
yeah.
actress, but she's a really good singer, and I think that she's interesting casting, I guess, for this movie. But it's just like the trailer for this movie looked so hopeless for me. I was like, this movie looks so
Yeah,
fucking
and
boring.
it's
Yeah.
actually kind of horrible timing with Avatar: The Way of Water because like we just got shown the capabilities of how beautiful water can look like with CGI and all that stuff, and for this movie to come out, it looks like it's going to
Wait,
flop.
Daveed Diggs is playing Sebastian. What the fuck?
Yeah, well, that I'm excited for because I'm
That's
a big David Diggs fan. He's in.
Javier Bardem is in this movie. Wait, what the hell?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, they normally get a really nice cast with
Yeah,
these
this
like
cast is
Disney
actually
live
Yeah,
action.
Javier
insane.
Bardem's King Triton, I think.
No, the cast from
Um,
top to bottom in this is actually kind of fucking based as hell. But the
yeah,
movie's
I'm a
Yeah,
big
I don't
David
know.
Diggs fan. I have not seen Hamilton, so it's kind of hard to say that I'm a huge David Diggs fan. But like, he's in one of my favorite movies
I was gonna
ever.
say
Blind
you
Spotting
just
is so
really
so good.
like Blind Spotting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you just
exactly.
must really like
Blind Spotting is one of my favorite
Zootopia.
movies of all time. I'm obsessed with that movie. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
lot of David Diggs love. Anything else that's not on the list that you guys might want to add, or are we all wrapped
oh
up
shit.
here?
Well, I don't know anything off the top of my head right
Yeah,
now.
Kevin, you
I
really put me in a spot.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I was just wondering if you had something in
well,
your minds
I
already. If
did
you don't have to think off the
I
top of your
did want
head.
to throw out that that I'm really happy with the Hunger Games movie. I hope the new Hunger Games movie is good because again, like Rachel Zegler is one of my favorite actresses. But
Yeah,
I what's her name? Hunter Schafer is also going to be in the Hunger Games movie, and that's going to be
yeah,
Oh,
like her
really?
first big movie because she's really only been in TV. And
yeah.
I really hope that's works out for her because she is such a good actress
Yeah.
that she needs to be in more shits. We didn't talk about Maxine, did we?
We
No, but I
didn't
think that's
because
because we
it's not
don't know if it's
confirmed a
coming
date.
out
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
year.
you're right. You're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
because I believe the production got pushed back, so it might come out early 2024.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just to throw it in there. Like, yeah, I'm also like very excited. Not very, but I like the idea of another Hunger Games movie. I really like the Hunger Games movies.
Yeah, it's
In
an
terms of
interesting
like,
universe.
yeah, they're just movies that I enjoy. I'm not like in love with any of them, but I do really like them. I do really want to see what a new like I assume trilogy would look like, or
Are they
you know.
based off of books or are these
Yeah, these are based
original?
off books.
Okay.
At least I think so. I believe I saw this book in Barnes and Noble, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Big Barnes and Noble guy, Kevin here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big, yeah,
Friends of the pod,
for
Barnes
sure.
and Noble.
Okay, let's wrap up
Yeah.
on our list. That's gonna end our list for now. If we don't have anything else to add, you guys can comment if we missed something and reach out and let us know which one of these movies or movies that weren't included on the list you're most excited for this year. And next week we're going to be talking about Megan and also playing a little movie themed guessing game. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll see you guys next week.